If one day you had no stable income and no place to live, but still had to take care of your child while running around the city just to hold on to a chance that might change your life, would you keep going? The movie The Pursuit of Happiness is based on a true story, and it tells exactly the story of a person who keeps moving forward step by step in the most desperate situation. The main character of the story is Chris Gardner. He lives in San Francisco and works as a salesman. He sells a very expensive type of medical device, but it is not something hospitals truly need, so it is very hard to sell. Every day he carries the heavy machine and goes from hospital to clinic, hoping someone will buy it. But reality is harsh. Most people turn him down. His income is extremely unstable. Sometimes he cannot sell even one machine for several days. The family's financial situation becomes more and more stressful. Bills keep piling up, and the rent starts to fall behind. Even though he works very hard, life does not get better. Instead, it becomes more and more difficult. His wife cannot handle this kind of pressure. She worries about money every day and has to work night shifts. She feels that there is no hope in this life. The conflicts between them grow, and arguments become more frequent. She begins to think that continuing like this has no meaning. In the end, she decides to leave. She chooses to go to another city to start over, leaving their child with Chris. From that moment on, Chris not only has to deal with the pressure of life, but also has to take care of his son on his own. He has to earn money while also handling his child's daily needs. He has no time to stop and no one to rely on. One day, he sees a man driving a nice car and dressed very well. He gathers the courage to ask what the man does for a living. The man tells him that he is a stockbroker. It sounds like a promising job, and the income is high. At that moment, a new idea appears in Chris's mind. He starts to think about whether he can enter this field. To achieve this goal, he applies for an internship at a brokerage firm. It is a highly competitive program with dozens of people competing for just one full-time position. What makes it even harder is that the internship has no salary. That means during this time he has no stable income, yet he still has to live and take care of his child. Many people would give up at this point, but he does not. He decides to take the risk. He begins training, studying financial knowledge every day, and practicing how to make calls to promote himself. He needs to constantly contact clients and convince them to trust him with their money. This is not easy for him because he has no experience in this field. To save time, he does not even hang up the phone between calls, so he can reach more people in a shorter time. He keeps improving his methods to become more efficient. At the same time, his life becomes even harder. Because he cannot pay the rent, he is forced out by the landlord. He and his son have to leave their home and start looking for places to stay. Sometimes they sleep in a subway station bathroom. He blocks the door to keep others out, just so his son can sleep for a while. Sometimes they line up at shelters, hoping to get a bed. But space is limited, and there is not always a place available. He has to carefully manage his time and plan everything just to survive. During the day, he wears a clean suit and goes to the company for his internship. He looks no different from the others. No one knows where he sleeps at night or what he is going through. He does not want others to see his struggle. More importantly, he does not want his son to feel that life has no hope. Even in the hardest moments, he never gives up his responsibility as a father. He takes his son to play basketball, talks with him, and tries to keep his life as normal as possible. He tells his son to believe in himself and not let others decide what he can or cannot do. In truth, these words are also meant for himself. During the internship, he keeps working hard, hoping to stand out among everyone. He knows there is only one position, and if he fails, he may not even be able to support basic living. He begins to demand more from himself. He studies more seriously, works more carefully, and wastes no time. He keeps adjusting his approach and improving his performance. During this time, he also has moments when he nearly breaks down. Once, after missing an opportunity, he loses control of his emotions and cries alone in a corner. But after that brief moment, he stands up again and continues moving forward. He does not stop. Time passes and the internship comes to an end. Everyone is waiting for the final result. One day, he is called into the office. He sits there, appearing calm, but inside he is extremely nervous. He knows this moment will decide his future. The manager tells him that the company has decided to hire him. When he hears this, he does not show excitement right away. He simply nods and tries to stay composed. But when he walks out onto the street, he can no longer hold it in. He stands among the crowd, quietly crying, but with a smile on his face. At that moment, he knows that all his effort and persistence have meaning. From someone who was almost homeless to someone who has secured a stable and promising job, this change did not happen overnight. It was built step by step. Later, he succeeds in this field, and his life gradually becomes stable. He is finally able to give his son a safe environment and take control of his life again. This is not just a simple success story. What truly moves people is the process. There are no sudden miracles and no easy shortcuts. Every step is difficult, and every decision requires courage. He does not change where he comes from, and he does not change his situation overnight. He proves through his actions that sometimes you do not keep going because you see hope, but because you keep going, you begin to see hope. At the end of the story, he is no longer just trying to survive. He begins to truly take control of his life. This change does not come from luck, but from the fact that even at his lowest point, he still chooses to move forward. That is the core power of the pursuit of happiness. It has no flashy effects and no forced emotion, but through a real story, it shows that in the most ordinary life, Persistence itself is already a kind of transformation.